All right, so go ahead and tell me who you are, where you work, and what you do there. Hello, I'm John Rossi. I'm a touring drummer with a passion for animal conservation. When I'm on the road, I spend as much time as possible visiting zoos, aquariums, and conservation organizations. Now, I want to share those places with you. I'll be talking to keepers, vets, conservationists, anyone who can help me in my mission of connecting my people to animals through their people. Join me on my Rossifari. Hello, and welcome back to a very special episode of the Rossifari podcast. All right, y'all. So, as you may have seen from the title, it is time. I recently went back to Buttonwood Park Zoo and spent more time drumming with Emily the elephant, and I've been posting some videos about it all, but it's time to do a full episode and let y'all hear what happened and hear my take on it and talk through it. Now, the last time that I played with Emily, I did something like this, but I also had done an interview with keepers and stuff, so it wasn't the most traditional episode, but it was kind of traditional. This one is not that, but based on the reaction and the number of downloads the last time I did this got, I'm going to say that if you are not a regular listener to the podcast, what you're going to be hearing here is very different than what you will normally hear. I normally don't blather on this much in my interview episodes, so there is that. But yeah, I am going to break down the time that I spent with Emily in this episode and tell you about it and let you hear it and narrate the whole thing. And it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to share some insights and some thoughts about what I think happened. And I will remind y'all that I am not, in fact, an elephant expert, but you know, I know a thing or two, and I actually did get to talk to some elephant experts there, so that was a lot of fun. And you'll get to hear some of that as well. As a matter of fact, this episode doesn't just deal with drumming with an elephant, but also with how elephant tongues work. My life is weird, but I just roll with it, and I love it. So I'll explain all of that as we go on. But before we get to drumming with Emily, I figured I would remind y'all that, you know, you need to hit subscribe so you don't miss any interview episodes or any of the Zoo News episodes that come out every Friday. Make sure that you're following along on the socials at Rossifari, on TikTok at Rossifari Pod. I have been posting on TikTok again, y'all, like multiple videos. It's not my favorite thing, but I've been doing it. And, you know, we're actually about to have another video, probably by the time this comes out, go over 1 million views on there. So that's exciting. And yeah, having a great time with all of that. So I hope you're following along so you're not missing anything. Beyond that, you can support the podcast for as little as $3 a month by going to patreon.com/Rossifari. So with all of that said, here is my jam session with Emily, the elephant at Buttonwood Park Zoo. All right, so we're going to start by me setting the scene for you. It was Buttonwood Park Zoo. Okay, let me go a little deeper than that. So I was hanging out with multiple people at the zoo, as I do, and we had just left red pandas being awesome and adorable, which is, you know, kind of their thing. And actually, you know, even before we leave, it was actually quite the moment for me when I was back in the indoor panda house, because that was where this journey all began. So I was hanging out with Steph, who is the primary panda keeper at the zoo and has been on here before and who you will be hearing from again. And honestly, it was just, man, it was really cool to be back in that place again and to reflect on everything that came from it. Actually, I have audio from that moment from an episode I will be releasing with Steph. So let me give you a little insight into how that all felt. Seeing the drum back in the red panda habitat that launched all of this from last time is blowing my mind.
It's waiting for you.
I remember seeing it the first time and just being like, why is there a drum with red pandas? And boom, that became a thing. So
it's really funny. One of the bear keepers, I also work the bears occasionally, she told me, and I thought of you instantly, that one of the volunteers had a xylophone and they played the xylophone for the bears, and they were very interested in it, and they were very curious. I was like, oh, everybody likes music.
That's so cool. So then we did the panda interview and had a blast, and then headed off to the elephant habitat. It was an interesting day there, to say the least, because there was already something fun going on. Mike McClure was at Buttonwood Park Zoo on the same day that I was. Now, Mike is the guy when it comes to elephant foot care. He's kind of an elephant podiatrist, I guess you would say. Elephant feet do a lot of heavy lifting, obviously, and Mike has become a total expert in taking care of them. So he literally travels around the country taking care of elephant feet. And even more impressively, teaching keepers and veterinarians to do the same at a very high level. Amusingly, kind of a side note here, I actually ran into Mike about a week after visiting with Emily, this time at Seneca Park Zoo in Rochester. I was there to see their red panda cub, and Mike was there working with their elephant and veterinary teams. So we got to chatting, and he's going to be on the podcast later this year, assuming our schedules can match up. So that's something to look forward to. It's very cool what he does. And yeah, Mike was actually finishing up his work at Buttonwood as we approached because, drummers obviously have incredible timing. And yes, I'm referring to me and Emily with that admittedly rather lame joke. And so the drum was brought out and I started to approach. Now, one thing that stood out to me just instantly was that I truly believe that Emily recognized me. Now, I know there is debate about how much different animals recognize different humans, and there are a ton of different factors that, can contribute to her behavior here. But it was a very different experience than the start of my last visit. And I don't even remember if I really talked about this in that episode, but last time I actually met Emily behind the scenes. And we drummed for a little and hung out and got to know each other a little before we went to the front of her habitat and started the experience that y'all saw us have together. And in our time behind the scenes, Emily seemed very confident and very content with what was happening. But she did take some time to warm up to me and to figure out what was going on. I actually was pretty close to thinking she wasn't feeling it and that she didn't know me and didn't trust me, so didn't want to drum with me. And then she did come closer and warmed to the idea. And yeah, y'all know how magical that was for me. But this time, as you'll hear in just a moment here, it was immediate. She saw me and started showing signs of excitement. And then the second I started to walk towards the drum, she started to play. Oh, you're not even waiting for me this time. Hi, Emily. Do you want to go again? Huh? Hi. Do you want to go again? Yeah? You have good rhythm. Yeah. I like that. Are you happy? Does this make you happy? Do you want to go again? What do you think? You're having a big day today. Y'all, she was so excited to start. And as you heard, started to trumpet almost immediately when I started to play. Man, I hope y'all are able to figure out when it's me playing and when it's her playing. If not, either y'all need to get your ears checked or I'm not nearly as good as I think I am. And my whole career is a dirty lie. Okay, we'll go with that, you can tell. Anyway, one of the things I noticed this time around, because honestly, last time I was just in a daze for most of this, was that Emily seemed to really like when I changed up the rhythms I played. She would watch me intently and also would show excited reactions as I would change up the patterns that I would play. Trumpeting, swinging her tail wildly, and showing her excitement with her ears waggling and her forehead moving. Those are all the behaviors that show interest and excitement, and they would often increase when I started playing different rhythms. In this next segment, I played something that I remembered her seeming to like from the last time when I played this rhythm, which was actually kind of based on how she plays her eighth notes when she's playing. And as you will hear, she was very pleased with that whole situation yet again. You want a duet? I'm so happy. I'm so happy too. And then, of course, comes the moment that so many of y'all have been waiting for. Well, kinda. Anyway, when I posted the first video from this encounter the last time, I got so many comments, literally thousands of them, that said the same thing, which was, of course, some variation of, she wanted the drumstick. Why didn't you give her the drumstick? You suck and are the worst person alive because you didn't give her the drumstick. What can I say? It's the internet. And on the comments went. And if you've seen all the videos from that encounter, you know that I did, in fact, offer her a drumstick. Emily actually has a pair of sticks that she has with her drums, and I offered her one of those. And she picked it up and lifted it high and dropped it, looking very much like she was having a mic drop moment. But when I posted that video, a lot of the comments pointed out that me giving me one of her drumsticks wasn't good enough, and that she clearly wanted to try one of my drumsticks, possibly because they made such cool rhythms and stuff. And, okay, look, I am fairly confident that that is, anthropomorphism at its worst, and it's frankly quite silly. It is. I'm sorry. It is. But the part of me that was super happy and excited to be back with my friend Emily and not at all thinking scientifically, because again, I was drumming with an elephant. That part of me thought, well, heck, maybe she does want to try one of my drumsticks. So I offered her one. Do you want to try it with a drumstick? Is that something that might be interesting? What do you think? No, you're good with your two? You're so cool. Nice job. So, as you heard there, when I offered her the drumstick, she ignored me and kept playing. So I laughed at myself for being silly and thinking the people who thought she wanted to try my stick were right, and I played with her a bit more. And then Emily started to reach out with her trunk and pull the drum closer to her. She was just so interested in this entire experience. And while I again need to point out that I cannot say that I know what she was going for, I did scooch up to get closer to her and the drum again. And I have to say that every moment playing with Emily was a treat, but there was something about being right there, right underneath this giant, incredible animal, through protected contact, of course, that was extra breathtaking. Elephants really are amazing animals, and I really just still have a hard time wrapping my head around the fact I got to be right there doing the thing I love with an elephant that also seems to really love it. Do you want to, are you stealing the drum? You trying to take that drum away from me? interesting. You're so sweet. Hi. What do you think? Are we done? Yeah? Okay. Well, thank you for jamming again. Oh, wait. Are you coming back? What do you think? Now, all the best musicians know that an encore is an important component of any live performance. And when Emily started to walk away and then came back and immediately started to play again, she sucked me right back in as well. I started messing with more complex rhythms occasionally, not just to keep her entertained, but it seemed to me that if I mixed things up, she would trumpet along and also spend longer drumming when she took over. And again, I can't stress enough that I don't know if any of that is actually true. But as with any enrichment activity for animals or any behavioral training, which this was not, but this is where my thinking is coming from, as you get to know the animal in question and watch their reactions to things, you can start to assess and adapt what you're doing. So that was at least part of my goal with Emily, along with, the whole drumming thing. And as I thought about that, get excited, y'all, because I couldn't help but wonder if maybe I should offer her a drumstick one more time. Nice job. Do you want a stick? Do you want to try with a drumstick? Yeah? What do you think? Nice! Good job! Yeah? Thank you. That was so polite. All right, we'll be back after this quick break.
Hi, this is Kathy Hill from the Indian River Lagoon National Estuary Program. We're all about restoration projects in progress this season on One Lagoon, One Voice. Learn about the great strides the lagoon community is taking to restore and protect the Indian River Lagoon. Each week, we dive deep into discussions with scientists, resource managers, and nonprofit leaders to explore lagoon issues and solutions. From oyster reefs to clam restoration, algae blooms to muck, you'll learn all about the projects we're tackling to bring the Indian River Lagoon back to health. Click the link in the show notes to follow One Lagoon, One Voice, learn about the IRL Council, and explore our unique lagoon.
So if you haven't seen the video I posted of that moment yet, it's worth a watch for sure. As you heard, Emily very gently took my drumstick from me and held it in her trunk. She then proceeded to drum with it, kinda. The reason I was laughing is that she still just used her trunk on the drum while holding the drumstick in her trunk, but not actually touching the stick to the drum. It was the bottom of her trunk was hitting the drum head while the stick was in the middle of her trunk. It was, of course, absolutely adorable. She didn't quite seem to get the idea, but it was still fun to watch. And she then returned the drumstick to me in a super gentle fashion. She literally moved her trunk right back to my hand and placed the stick in my palm, letting me know she was done with it. It was incredibly sweet. It was so gentle. This was also, to be honest, a moment where I had to laugh at myself a bit. Because when I handed Emily the drumstick, before I passed it off to her, I rotated it so that I was handing her the butt end, the part we hold as human drummers. Yeah, there's a joke about holding a butt there, but come on, this is a cool episode. We're not going to go there. It's common courtesy to do this when handing a stick or sticks to other human drummers, but somehow I don't think Emily would have been offended if I handed the stick to her tip first, especially since she didn't know to point either end of the stick at the drum to play. And that actually brings us to our next moment, which is another video I've posted already. But for those of you that have really been paying attention, you may have noticed that I played on the rim a few times in earlier segments and even kind of asked her if she was catching that I was hitting the rim, because she would really focus when I did that. And since Emily seemed intrigued by changes I made, I thought adding in that new sound more officially would make her even more interested. So after trying it once or twice before, I decided to really go for it this time around and played the second half of this part, on the rim with my right hand, with my left hand still doing a counter rhythm on the head of the drum. And talk about an incredibly smart girl. When she started to play again, she moved her trunk from the center towards the edge, even hitting the rim and the head at the same time with her trunk. You'll be able to hear the pitch change a little on the drum as she does this when she starts playing. I also thought it was really interesting. In editing this episode, I have to cut out a lot of the dead air between when I played and when she decided to play, just because it's a podcast and silence is boring. And I'm going to do that here as well, but this was easily the longest amount of time between my call and her response. Was she processing and deciding how to try to get that sound for herself? Was she distracted by a butterfly behind me? Was she sitting and thinking about how awesome her feet felt after a visit from Mike? I don't know, but it was very interesting to me that she took longer than usual and then adapted to what I had played in her playing. So she had taken to the stick, kind of, and then she had taken to trying to play on the rim. And so after those two things, I decided that it would be fun to change the pitch of the drum with one hand while drumming with the other hand. It's a pretty common thing that we can do with drums. And I thought maybe it would be interesting for her. And she did seem very interested when I did that. She even trumpeted during it. And then when she started to play her response, I reached out my hand in the same way to change the pitch for her as she was making noise on the drum. And Emily had some feelings about that. Didn't like that one as much? That's okay. You're so good. You're so good. Yeah. You're just incredible. Are we done? think we're done? You tricked me before. And she had tricked me again. Emily started to walk away, but when I stood up to also start to walk away, she froze. So I played again while standing, leaning over my bass drum awkwardly. But hey, whatever. I said my bass drum. It's totally her bass drum. I should stop stealing Emily's drum on my podcast. But anyway, and she came back for a last bit of percussive camaraderie. What do you think? Hi, pretty girl. Hi. Want me to keep going? I'll play all day. Or are you done? What do you think? Oh, you coming back? You want to go again? What do you think? Good job. What do you think, kiddo? What do you think, huh? Is this awesome? Are you done? Okay. You done? That's okay. That was a long jam. You're having a big day today. Yeah? Thank you, Emily. You know, all the physical signs of joy are a lot, but her making rumbling noises of joy was just so much. I could hear it up close and feel it just through my body, and it was incredibly meaningful. And you can just hear how much everyone there loves her. Emily was treated to some snacks, and I noticed they were putting the food into her mouth, and she was kind of holding it on the top of her tongue, like holding her tongue at a weird kind of... It's hard for me to explain. I got inquisitive, and I asked people there, including Mike, exactly what was going on with her tongue. And as you would expect, knowing how my life works, I ended up reaching into an elephant mouth. One of these days, I'll do that without getting tears in my eyes. I know, one of these days, but it wasn't today.
It's intense. She's amazing.
I mean, especially building a career as a drummer and then finding a way to connect with animals through it is just
been surprisingly
insane.
liking the green ones.
Oh my gosh.
I hear you.
Oh.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my goodness.
She's been craving the attention tonight.
So is there like a little ridge on the tongue that...
There's a gland up above.
Okay.
But their tongue, the way it's shaped, they can kind of make it into a... They can kind of curl it to create sort of a, yeah.
This is
you
crazy.
Want to give her a biscuit? Grab one of the biscuits from me.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
All right. There you go. There you go. Yeah, good job.
See, she can curl her.
That's so cool.
Can curl her tongue up.
That's so cool. Hello, friend. Hi.
You know what's really interesting? I don't know if African elephants can even do that.
Interesting.
Curl the tongue?
I don't know. I've never seen the girls at Roger Williams do that before. Ever.
I don't know. Maybe Mike knows.
Can I give her
African
a trunk pat?
tongues?
Can they curl their tongue like theirs? Because I've never seen the girls at Roger Williams do it. Ever.
Interesting. Hi.
They always keep the
Hi,
flat tongue.
friend. What's up, sweetheart?
You're the bestest girl in the whole world.
Oh my gosh.
So there's a ball right here, and they use this like a fist. So she's really nice. Africans will pull you in with that. It really feels like a fist, and they'll almost yank you with it.
Wow, that's
and also,
fascinating.
I printed
the
out
taste buds on the side,
Mm-hmm.
not many, right? And most people, hey, that's my bracelet. Most people that work with elephants will tell you the taste buds taste chocolate and tobacco, and that's about it.
Interesting. I know some people that are that way too.
Right? That's so filled.
Oh my gosh, look at that mouth. I've definitely never been in an elephant's mouth before.
Those are two top. And then there's two on the bottom, which are a little harder to see.
Okay.
So there's 4 total.
4 total teeth, and they are
They're
huge.
like
Nice
bricks.
job, Emily. That was cool. Wow. Oh, Emily. Hi, sweetheart. Hi.
Pretty good day.
So it's
Pretty good day.
simple.
Yeah.
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 How do you even?
She's right.
What a ridiculous experience. I know I mentioned this on a Zoo News episode already, but when I finished, I packed up my drumsticks and went off to play a show the next day, and I was using the same drumsticks, and I ended up, there were some kiddos in the front of the audience that I wanted to hand my sticks out to because they were very excited, and I had to remind myself to flip those sticks away and grab another pair to hand out so that I did not accidentally give away the drumsticks that, Emily had played with. Because, again, I had drumsticks that had been played with by an elephant, and that's just crazy. My life is crazy, but I love it so much. And I'm so thankful to the team at Buttonwood Park Zoo for just being just the best. It was so sweet to be invited back and given this opportunity again. And I hope I can get up there again and again and again and again, because honestly, playing with Emily is such an amazing experience for me. And frankly, I know she loves it, which I think is the coolest thing ever. It's so neat to be able to get, these videos that I post on social media and they pop off or whatever, and that's super cool. But honestly, that's not it at all. Although I have to admit, if you didn't see it, I did make a video where one of my very good friends, who I just respect as a singer and a musician so much, Claire Frances Sullivan, posted a video of her trying to play clarinet to a cat. And so I made a little funny video that I'm pretty proud of, comparing my drumming with an elephant to her clarinetting with a cat. But outside of that, that is not the point of doing this, obviously. The point is just the moments of connection, and it's amazing. I mean, you can hear it. I sound like a total goober throughout that entire thing, and rightly so, because what could make you more goobery than that experience? It was so beautiful and so amazing, and I'm so grateful to the team for that. But I feel like I'm just rambling on now because of how beautiful and amazing it was and how grateful to the team I am. Rambling. So before I go, I would like to say thank you to everyone for listening. I would like to say thank you to all of my patrons, especially my Red Panda level patrons, Dr. Laura Shank, Dr. Stephen Williamson, Barbara Bennett, Jenny Owens, and Kevin Williams. And I'd like to remind y'all that the word credits, when said by an elephant, is... The Rossifari podcast is produced, hosted, and engineered by John Rossi. Editing and fact-checking by John and Dr. Zoe Rossi. Our theme song is Sevens by Nathan Burke, performed by Nathan and John. Interrupting John theme and additional voices by Taylor Isaac Gray. You can reach John directly on Instagram and Facebook at Rossifari, or by email at rossifaripod@gmail.com. Rossifari is part of the Daydreamer Media Network. Now, stop listening to me and go visit a zoo.